Hi, I'm Craig. Stay tuned for my comments after the video.
You have found Turner Classic Movies.
Hey, welcome to Turner Classic Movies. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Today is the third straight Sunday where we're devoting our programming to classics from legendary filmmaker Walt Disney and the studio he founded. And up next from 1978, we have Return from Witch Mountain. Now, the film is a sequel to a sci-fi adventure Disney released just a few years earlier, Escape to Witch Mountain. We just aired that film, but you don't really need to have seen the first film to enjoy this one. The story certainly stands on its own. In the first movie, we were introduced to two kids, Tony and Tia, who just happen to have some pretty amazing powers, like they can communicate without talking and they can make things move without touching them. Well, it turns out those kids are not from around here. They're from another planet, and in this film, Tony and Tia return to Earth, where once again they find themselves being pursued by bad guys who want to use the kids' special powers for their own evil purposes. The bad guys, a man and woman, are played by Christopher Lee and Bette Davis. Davis was 70 and nearing the end of her movie-making career. Lee was in his 50s, and it turns out he was just warming up. But here we are 30 years later, and Christopher Lee, now in his 80s, still going strong. From 1978, and also featuring the kids from the original, Kim Richards and Ike Eisenman, Return from Witch Mountain.
Uncle Benet. Right on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, you should have gone for a touchdown.
Next time, I'll put it right between the goalposts.
Can't wait to see the museums and go to all the concerts.
That's why we arranged this little vacation. We've been so busy establishing our own community on Witch Mountain that you two haven't had an opportunity to see what life in the big city's all about.
I'd rather go down to the beach and learn how to surf.
There'll be another time for that. Just remember what I told you and have a lot of fun.
Betty Davis was 70 years old when she appeared in Return from Witch Mountain, and the legendary actress's career was definitely winding down. Davis had 2 Best Actress Oscars to her credit, but those statuettes were about 40 years old in 1978. Still, she was Betty Davis, and she, of course, carried a lot of weight in Hollywood. And just the year before making this movie, she became the first woman to ever receive the American Film Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award. Coming up, another veteran actress from Hollywood's golden age stars in a family-friendly adventure from Disney. It's 3-time Oscar nominee Angela Lansbury playing an amateur witch.
We just watched Turner Classic Movies' intro for Return from Witch Mountain as presented on TCM in 2008. TCM showed this film as part of a month-long series of movies called The Family Classics. The film is Return from Witch Mountain, a 1978 sequel to 1975's Escape to Witch Mountain. Unlike the first movie, the sequel was not based on a book, although Disney did hire Alexander Key, Escape to Witch Mountain's author, to write the novelization. The film made a little over $18 million at the box office, which was actually $2 million less than the original made in 1975. In the movie, Tony and Tia are on vacation in Los Angeles when Tony is abducted by a mad scientist and a rich lady who brainwash him into using his powers for their own gains. Those characters were played by Christopher Lee and Betty Davis, and the film relies heavily on their star power to make such a far-fetched premise work. This film illustrates a period in Disney film history where Disney production values had far outpaced their story development and scripting. Starting around 1978, Disney films started to carry with them a high-quality look and technical prowess so far as sound, picture, special effects, and editing was concerned. Many films during this period were even nominated for Oscars in these technical categories. However, most of these films didn't do as well as Disney expected at the box office, and critical reviews were often mixed. Story development and scripting was often cited as the weakest element of their films during this period. Disney's lack of success with these films led to a period of self-examination in which the studio began changing formats and exploring different genres other than family entertainment. Most of these attempts to reinvent Disney films also failed at the box office, putting Disney in a weak financial position as a company, leading to great upheaval at the corporate level in 1983. I often describe watching movies from this period in Disney film history as feeling like you're watching a really good TV movie. They don't necessarily feel like a feature film, but they look good, they have familiar actors, and they're an easy watch. But when you compare them to other films of the time, these films often couldn't compete. Overall, I guess I like Return from Witch Mountain, but I do think it's overloaded with too many extra things and goofy gags. The sequences in the castle-like lair, the dilapidated house, with the earthquake gang, and the adventure of the goat go on far too long, and the idea they would take a flying saucer to go on vacation seems kind of dumb for a bunch of people who want to avoid attention. For me, it's a lot like Smokey and the Bandit 2 was to the original Smokey and the Bandit. It's okay, and it has some good parts, but there's a lot of it that's not worth very much. Well, those are my comments for this video. If you like these retro videos, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, click the notification bell, and leave a comment. All these things really help the channel. Keep watching for more retro videos like this and other retro videos like Retro Talk. Take care of yourself and look out for others. Talk to you later. Bye.
This video brought to you by StockAgogo.com, Stock Photos.